નમસ્કાર, TV9 સમાચાર સાથે હું છું શિવાની। કેન્દ્રીય નાણામંત્રી નિર્મલા સીતારમણ પ્રેસ કોન્ફરન્સ કરી રહ્યા છે। સીધા જઈએ।
And a former deputy governor of RBI was appointed onto the board of Yes Bank as a director. In June 19, again another set of fines were levied, saying, no, it is not happening, you don't seem to be having a good compliance culture, here we go, another fine. A chief financial officer was also newly appointed. And it was only in September 19 that you had a complete giving away of the shares. I mean, stake was completely sold of the earlier promoter. All this while, there was also this promise being given saying we are getting more money from here, we are getting new equity here, somebody coming from Hong Kong is giving us money, and very genuinely attempts were made to get new equity infusion done into the bank. Genuinely a lot of attempts were made, but nothing materialized. Period after period, the RBI was also informing us that they've given them more time so that they can get fresh equity, fresh infusion of cash, so that the bank's health can be restored. And every time you had to give them the space and margin, because after all, if there is a genuine attempt being done, let them get it. But it didn't happen at all. As a result, it went on like that. And once in November 19, it was very clear that no longer there was hope for them to get any more money. And coincidentally, the chairman of the audit committee also resigned early January 2020. Things came to a serious pass. And that is when I think we intensely engaged, as we were continuing the engagement, a lot of other ideas with which we were talking with the RBI was talking with the management. I've asked the RBI now actually to go into assessing what actually has caused these difficulties for the Yes Bank. I've asked him to find out and assess as to where the problem, the causative problem lies. And also clearly identify the role played by various individuals in the problem, in creating the problem and not so comprehensively addressing the problem. And I've also asked the RBI to tell me about adequacy of the extant regulatory norms, also the supervisory norms, and if found inadequate, where and why. I have asked them for a report on this. And I've also asked the RBI to act so that the due process of law takes its course with a sense of urgency. Whilst the government, our government is completely committed to ensure that the depositor's interest is completely safeguarded, equally, I want the RBI to ensure that due process of law is set to roll with a sense of urgency so that we should find out as to who led to this problem, a problem of this size and magnitude in the Yes Bank. The steps, of course, which are taken by RBI as it is are several. I'll just narrate. Yesterday, on their request, we've given the clearance for bringing a moratorium onto the bank, which is for the next 30 days. The withdrawal limit has been capped. Supersession of the management, meaning the bank's board. Then an appointment of a administrator who happens to be a former chief finance officer of the State Bank of India. And then, even as we speak, they have put in a scheme for restructuring the bank. Already the RBI's website should be having it, and that scheme will be effected within the period of the moratorium.